Up today.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more do we go into the breach, dear friends.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have? Well, we're up only 42 points on the S&P. Now, it's only 1.5%. Only up 1.3% on the Dow. Only up 1.5% on the NASDAQ. Yeah, it feels like a down day, doesn't it? Just, we can't handle this market going up any higher. It's not right. This will not stand. Anyway, we got a lot of stuff going on. Market kind of looks like it doesn't want to go down and doesn't want to go up. Options say that we're looking for a little bit more of a bias, somewhere around 2950 to 3000 for next Friday. It's not what I would want, though. I mean, there's not that many options out in the market for next week. Option market makers, of course, and all the volatility have pulled back quite a bit. So it's not, you go out and ask 5 people who's going to be the next president, you probably get a good or at least a decent poll. If you ask 1,500, you'll get a good poll. I meant 5 people. You're not getting really anything. You're just getting noise. So we'll wait, see what the job numbers are in the morning. One of the reasons why I don't think we're going to go lower was I'm looking at stocks that have had 50-cent moves or 1% moves with 35% shorts every single day. That means that 1 out of every 3 trades is someone shorting the stock. And generally, if that happens like 5-10 days in a row, you get the kind of squeezes you only read about in the Bible. Of course, there are none. I'm just making that up. But because generally, especially when you have somebody that has some kind of lunatic interpretation of the future, they always find some kind of Bible verse that backs up what they have to say, no matter how nutty it is. Not the Bible verse, I meant the people coming up with whatever they think is sufficient reason to make other people believe in their hogwash. I believe in something else. I believe, what's his name? Now I can't think. Steve. I believe in Stevie Wonder. When you believe in things you don't understand, then you suffer. Superstition ain't the way. Anyway, we cashed out here just shortly moments ago. I think was the second or third time that we've bought the IBB. Bought it off the lows, bought it again, sold it, bought it again. We were buying it on Friday at 121-ish. And sold at 128. So nice positive trade. Not going to buy the 600-foot yacht I want with that trade, but every trade that you exit for profit is a good trade, a happy trade. And of course, we around here at this show only deal in positive waves.
Don't you knock it off with them negative waves. Why don't you dig how beautiful it is out here? Why don't you say something righteous and hopeful for a change? Always with the negative waves, Moriarty. Always with the negative waves.
Always with those negative waves. Well, some trades work out, some do not. The good trades, you make a lot more than you make the bad trades. And if you just bet 50%, 500, you can make yourself to the palazzo, which is a Italian word for the palace. But I do digress, and of course I'm going to win the award, going hands down again this year at the TFNN Christmas Festival when they hand out the TFNN Emmys for digression and other things too. But that digression one, it's been mine 10 years running. I don't think anybody has the power to digress like I do. Anyway, we've got a lot going on. I sold mostly because probably got, I don't know, 70, 80% what I think is in the trade. Maybe we get a little bit of pullback and I get another opportunity. I think the IBB is the primary. How about the best sector? I'll just say it that way. Going forward, it broke out. It broke out with volume. It did all the stuff it is supposed to do. And, of course, as an ETF, there's nothing really else out there that acted that way. It's got 3 or 4 years of backlog of meandering down at lower prices. And, of course, probably the product that would be something for our salvation if they come up with a good virus in that bunch. So nothing but positive waves for me today. I'm back to being all cash. And I don't know, maybe there's something tomorrow. I see all these stocks shooting up with monster amounts of short interest. And do we have time? We'll look at it here. And I've got my trusty, can I do that? Yeah, I can. I got my trusty spreadsheet up here. But let's look. Borg Warner, 37% short yesterday. Advanced Micro Devices, 34% short yesterday. Macy's, 32%. Occidental Petroleum, 31%. Carnival, 30%. Twitter, 30%. Now, I can understand Carnival and Royal Caribbean being cruise ships. They could go out of business. Twitter, not going out of business tomorrow. Why would anybody be short? And they've been shorting it like that this whole week. Nordstrom, Venado Realty Trust, possibility that goes belly up. American Airlines, possibility that goes up. Ford, they're not going to let it go belly up, 29%. Mohawk Industries, 28%. Are you ever going to buy carpet again? If the answer is no, then this goes belly up. If your carpet wears out, then Mohawk Industries is not going out of business. Norwegian cruise ships, yes, they could park those out all in the middle of the sea. Could strip malls go away? Possibly. 27% on Simon Property Group. Alaska Air Group, no one ever going back up to Alaska, apparently. 27%. Could they go bankrupt? I think the answer is yes. But Facebook, 26%. Is Facebook going out of business? Probably not. KLA Tencor, are we ever going to buy another electronic device? Probably not going out of business. Netflix, overpriced, maybe. Going out of business, no. NVIDIA, hell no. United Continental Holdings, maybe. Electronic Arts, people can still play games. Tesla, maybe in a while. Lulu, apparently nobody is ever going to do Pilates again. Really? Okay, I'll be back in a minute.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today. TFNN is launching an open house for our Tiger's Den. For a limited time, you can get a 30-day free trial to the Tiger's Den. Just enter promo code OPEN at checkout and pay nothing for 30 days while you try out your Tiger's Den membership as part of our open house. With market volatility at an all-time high and people all over the world working from home if possible, TFNN is hosting an open house in our Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is an interactive chat room that runs all day where other tigers and tigresses discuss trading ideas with the hosts and members, along with charts and current market news, as well as live access to the charts the hosts use during their programs. Join us for the Tiger's Den Open House. Begin your Den membership today by just entering OPEN at checkout and pay nothing while you try things out for 30 days. For all the details and to start your Den membership today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the TFNN Tiger's Den Open House taking place now. Sign up today.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
That it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1965, in the early morning hours, a bleary-eyed Keith Richards, is there any other kind, awoke, grabbed a tape recorder, and laid down one of the greatest pop hooks of all time, the opening riff of I Can't Get No Satisfaction. Then he promptly fell back to sleep. According to him, I put it back on the tape, and there's this, maybe 30 seconds of satisfaction, a very drowsy sort of rendition. Then it suddenly... the guitar goes clang, and there's like 45 minutes of snoring. And, of course, you never know where inspiration is going to meet perspiration. 3 days later, they had the first version of it down in Chicago. 2 days after that, they spent 18 hours one day in the RCA building, the famous one, in the Capitol Records building, and recorded Can't Get No Satisfaction. Can't get no. And the rest is history. Of course, they had one song before that, I think Time Is On My Side, but that was about it. And the rest is histoire, as he says. Anyway, we're still up a miserable 43 points on the S&P cash. Dow's up 320 points. Nasdaq's up 141. Just a horrific day. I've had a bunch of people ask me, I'm going to say over the last month or so, both in the Den, via email, I can't understand why the market's going up. And I understand that the charts kind of told me that, and of course the data with too many short sellers, some other stuff. But one kind of factoid that I saw this morning really hit home. And that was that half, actually 52% of the counties in America haven't had one death, either there or one of its subjects that is, what are they, legal term, domiciles there. Can you imagine that half the country is watching them burn their businesses to the ground, and there hasn't been one death in their county? In fact, if you look at all the deaths, over only 3 states account for more than 52%. I think the market has looked forward and said, this is a very specific, yet horrible thing, but it is highly concentrated in the Northeast states. And, of course, they do little of any kind of manufacturing or other stuff that really, I mean, they do a lot of financial stuff and paper pushing, but all that stuff's going to be there. The core of America is still going to be up and running. And I think the markets look past the horrific things in the states that probably don't matter as much to the long-term health and GDP of the country, and has moved on. There's a bunch of other stuff in that that both good and bad. But you know what? If you watch CNN, my guess is, since they're on Fifth Avenue there, like every other media outlet, they're going to overemphasize the broad context of what's happening. And if that same news organization was out in Poughkeepsie, somewhere out in the middle of Iowa, where they didn't have one case, I'm wondering if it would get a fourth of the play that it gets because it's in New York. And I think we've got a lot of that. People around here pretty much have gotten back to normal. Drove by a car lot yesterday at about 5:30, packed. Restaurant, Olive Garden, packed. Everybody's kind of back to living their life, at least here in Clearwater. Not a lot of hand-wringing, end-of-the-world discussions. But I can imagine if you watched a news organization that was based at the epicenter of a nuclear explosion, you would probably get the same thing. They would believe that you were feeling the same pain that they did, and you may feel the same psychic pain, but guess what? Your house has not been blown over by that nuclear bomb. So I think we've got a couple of things. One is that everybody believes the world is centered on themselves. From the Pope in the 1500s, who wanted to kill anybody that said the Earth wasn't the center of the universe, like it mattered to them at all. That continues on. Human foibles and personalities, that kind of stuff. Does it really change over time? Has human nature changed? And the belief that everything revolves around you? And especially if you're in a business that everybody believes revolves around them. Could there be nothing worse than getting your news from somebody that is at least at some level a narcissist? Anyway, they asked me why, and I just said the market wasn't agreeing with them. But for every good argument, there's a good counter argument. And if you can't make that counter argument, which I'm making today, then your argument is probably not any good, because there is a good argument for every counter argument and a counter argument for every good argument. Anyway, just things to think about. Anyway, we're fading a little bit. Probably one of my subscribers did probably state it well, and that is we're probably looking at maybe tailing off just a little bit before we get into the jobs numbers in the morning. And then, of course, if they're about as tragic as we believe, but not worse, maybe we get a little more. Options do say, and we've got about a week to do it, do say that we are going to probably go to 2950, maybe 3,000. We'll see how well those work. The thing I horribly dislike about being short now is that everybody else is short. And, of course, all we have to do is start losing volume, which we will every day. From now on to probably the 25th of May, the volume on average, should drop every day. We're going into summertime trading. And if you have a huge amount of short positions and the daily volume drops in half, what do? It's very tough to get out of those short positions. You're a sitting duck for stock operators that want to come out with self-serving news. And maybe you win, maybe you don't. But the odds have been pretty poor over time for highly short stocks in a declining market environment. So I'm thinking we can still hold up and go all the way through the 3-day weekend before we see any kind of significant decline in the markets. But that's just it. This time it's different? No. I think this time it's the same. And that is the market is right, and most of the other people, like almost all times, are wrong. The experts are wrong. Remember the expert, the first time it came out, he said 2.2 million dead in America. What do we got? 1/20th of that? Less? We'll be back in a minute.
If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And what is it? I was looking for one because it's the one I like, but I can't find it here. Maybe I'll find it another time. But it was the recording that I had that said, I reject your reality and insert my own, which a lot of people do. So it's nothing new, but that's it. What else do we have? I like this one.
Well, if you learned anything today, it won't be the truth.
I always like that one. So we'll go ahead. You can call me at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And what are your thoughts on the declining volume major indexes in the U.S. markets, Pete? It's summertime. It starts now. Generally, the fifth. One of the reasons why I think the old saying of sell in May and go away is because the volume declines and the moves are not as big as they once were in the springtime. So that's been for forever. But you can, if you know, some of the best statistical software and testing out there is called ARMA, which is kind of it's a better way of doing moving averages, let's put it that way. But one of the base points of ARMA, especially for sales forecasting, for retail and parts stuff, is seasonality. It is someone's asking me here. I think it's ARIMA. I'll find the link to it. But if you're talking about a non-machine learning version of what they used in past, that's kind of the gold standard, as good as it's going to get kind of thing. That's been used on volume for a long time, and for forever. You started to see volumes kind of decrease starting about May 5th. You get to kind of the run rate for summer, somewhere around Memorial Day. You get back to somewhere about the second week in September before the volume starts really picking up. But what my point is, you have a lot of volume contract, and you have if the market stays up here, you've got all those short positions. Your one press release, phony or real or imagined, from getting really moved out of it in a big way. And generally, I like to wait until all those people are out and bored and leave to be short or short a stock. Okay, Mr. Gator, I see your comment. But that's kind of it. Anyway, you can, that answers that thing. Got a question about what's going on. And I'll put it this way. Question about what a doctor tells me to do. It's the same thing that a lawyer tells me to do. Lawyer will always tell you not to sign anything. Guess what? It never blows back on them if you didn't do anything. A doctor's one purpose is to make sure you don't die. It blows back on him. Now, the other 99 people went out and had a great time. So was the risk reward right for what you were doing? That's all the real question is. Literally, if you do nothing, you'll sit there and eventually starve and die, or get thrown out of your house because you didn't pay. So there is some level, but probably I don't think two humans could agree on it, between the risk and reward of doing nothing and hiding and actually getting the country fired back up. My belief is that 3/4 of the country already looking at their houses on fire are not asking whether or not the fire department should show up. They want them to put the fire out and fix the houses and move on. So I think that's why we still have a market that moves higher. And of course, who doesn't want to have a good weekend for Mother's Day too? Okay, let's go ahead and start looking at some of the, Keith Richards, okay. Let's start looking at some of them. One of the things that kind of interested me always is the company that is responsible for all the lithium batteries, ALB, been kind of headed down since February 20th. This thing launched down far in advance of all the rest of the stocks in the market. Of course, lithium batteries. We talked with Tom O'Brien a little bit about some of the cars. There's now maybe 10 or 15 of these EV cars that were going to come along in the next year that have been canceled. And historically, there's a great movie or documentary about how many times electric cars have come and gone over the last 120 years. They existed before the internal combustion engine. First car was electric. I don't know how many they sold of them. Of course, if you're only going 5 miles, probably not a big deal back then. But it's come and gone. I'm trying to remember the name of this thing, but it chronicles like the 4 times that electric vehicles have come and gone in the past. And like somebody said earlier in the den, this time it's different. I don't know. I think that there are a lot of advantages to electric cars, a lot of disadvantages to batteries. And that is the weak spot for everything, storing energy, whether or not it's solar panels on your roof or anything else. It's where do you store it? There isn't a good solution for the most part. Let's put it that way. Anyway, no real juice on this one today on earnings. And apparently the best solution for a lot of demand is a lot of demand. And they're getting, I guess, apparently all the demand that they can stand at ALB. Okay, MedSys. Down a little bit on light volume, back to the gap. Don't think we can make a lot about that. Apache Corporation, not much movement on that one. Is this the right one? I think it is. Okay. Let's go to some of the other ones. Budweiser. You got to think that they were doing good. Everybody sitting around drinking beer at home, up a little bit, but not much volume in it. DDD, kind of a bad day in 3D printing, back down and through the previous low of May 4th. That was $7.46 with 2.1 million shares with 5 million shares already. That opens up the $5.48 low, or $5.84 low of April 3rd. Etsy, all those hippies sitting out there making their hacky sack bags, not as bad as you would think. And, of course, unaffected by pandemics. Apparently. Nice volume last 3 days. Opened a little lower today, kind of going out sideways. So nothing to write home again about. Exact Sciences, EXAS is the symbol on this one. And you got a little bit more than what's happened. Volume's actually fairly good on this one today. Fitbit. Everybody's talking about Peloton. Fitbit, no love today. Down a little bit. Not a lot of volume, but doesn't have that far to go. We come back, we'll look at more of these on earnings and look forward to next week.
If you're in the CD market and looking for a secure investment, the Tiger First Mortgage Program may work for you. The security for these first mortgages are building lots in the tax opportunity zone in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Tax Act of 2018 set up tax-free zones across the country where you can build and hold for 10 years and pay no tax on the profits, which makes these lots valuable. The investment is anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000. The interest paid is 7% yearly, paid on a monthly basis. According to Bankrate.com, the best rate for a 4-year CD in the country as of February 20th is 3.1%. A $50,000 investment at a normal 4-year CD rate of 3.1% would give you income of $1,550 per year or $6,200 over the 4-year period. That same $50,000 investment in the Tiger First Mortgage Program would give you $3,500 per year or $14,000 over the 4 years. Which would you prefer, $6,200 or $14,000 of interest on your investment? If you'd like more information about the Tiger First Mortgage Program, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And we're back. Fitbit, as we said, not getting much love there. GoDaddy, the registrar for websites, doing nothing but net here today. $74.70, 1.4 million shares. It's going into some down days with about the same volume, but not that bad. Does open up $78.99. My guess is it will go up there and test that fairly good. Grubhub. This thing probably should have gone higher. We talked about whether or not a lot of this was baked in, i.e. the peak of people ordering stuff was over and they were probably going to go out themselves as more and more states opened up. Numbers pretty good. They're probably basically saying the same thing. We had some pretty good numbers when we had a captive audience, but maybe not as captive as we had for. Okay, what else do we have? JetBlue, and no surprise in any of these, I suspect. Let's go back here and look. Okay. And we're still up 37, 38 points on the S&P cash, so not much change in there. Like I said, volume is going to be lighter today. We got 7.2 billion shares on the push up. But every time we come back, it's when we have lighter volume up, we have even lighter volume down. If we get a down day with heavier volume, that may tell you that the tide has turned. But we have no signal like that yet. Why? Why do we have no signal like that yet? Okay, path, go back here, get my messages. Okay. JetBlue, of course, I think it's all in right now. Price for bankruptcy. So what can you say there? Trading basically sideways on the day. mRNA. Modern Era. Retesting the high of April 21st, 56.38. That had 40 million shares. You got 22. So you've got a negative test there. Telling you something. Marathon Oil, well, down a little bit, no big deal there. Plug Power, Again, this was kind of a darling for fuel cells folks. Up a little bit, but not much going on there either. PayPal, of course, the big winner chicken dinner. Just blew it out. Kind of interesting because it was up at its previous highs. Volume was okay going into it yesterday. One of the things I looked at that was that it didn't really have that many short sellers in it. They had almost all covered by the time yesterday rolled around. So that a lot of this either had to be some really late to the party short sellers or earnings must be incredibly good at PayPal. Now, I wouldn't be chasing this, but you get down to 130, 135, and this thing got no volume. Papa's got to look for a new pair of shoes, and he'd do it by buying down there at that 130, 135 area. RE, Everest Group, this thing's just bouncing along the bottom. Don't see a lot into that one. Of course, another one that people are going gaga over. I don't know if it's Lady Gaga, but Gaga nonetheless. Up through the gap down of the 9th is Square. Gap down on 16 million shares. You're up on 26 million shares today. No ambiguous signal here, and that is good earnings and some good volume. A sign of strength through that gap down on 10 million more shares. Doesn't mean that this can't come back down to around 72 on any pullback in the general market and on light volume. That would be your buy point. Teva Pharmaceuticals. Up on huge volume today, gave a little bit of that back. It's going right back into the 28th, 29th, and 30th. Well, there is no 30th of February and March 1st, which is kind of the little shoulder this got into today. Volume very good in this one, Teva Pharmaceuticals. T-Mobile, of course, a good day at BlackRock. For T-Mobile, back up and through and everything going back to the 4th of March. That had 5 million shares back then. Got 8 million shares here, so good day for that. Twilio, another chicken winner chicken dinner. Up to 175. Now, this one did have a lot of shorts and clean their clocks. Probably going to hold up here for at least 3 days. That's the kind of gaps you look for exhaustion moves. But at the same time, those shorts are probably looking at margin calls. You want to give them a good 3 days to let them stew. And what a fine stew they do make. Going sideways is Wynn Resorts. No message there. Yeti, the incredibly expensive cooler manufacturer, they've got pretty much the exact same things for half the price now. I always wondered how long that would take. You did bounce up to $30.49. Always thought it was a questionable IPO to get into a cooler business. Eventually, I suspect they will be a shell of their former self. Good business. I just don't understand how they have a moat. The difference between a Yeti cooler and an Igloo cooler is they insulate the top, and there's a little stronger fiberglass in the side. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to make a Yeti cooler. But if you're out for a couple of days fishing, probably well worth spending it. But now there are alternatives at half the price. So what is a good Yeti cooler? $400. You can buy a nice big 48-quart cooler, I think, for half that, about maybe $200 at Sam's Club or Walmart or some of the others out there. Did touch that, what would you call it, the left shoulder here, the right shoulder of the down move or the right shoulder of the up move. Let's just call it March 2nd. Through all of March 4th before this started coming back down to $15.50. Now it's back up to about twice that level. Long term, very hard to make an argument for it. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path at Oh, I like that one. They're only going gaga over it, but only with their poker face. Okay, Zynga down a little bit. This finally did come off the lows. This thing languished at $2.50 for forever. I thought it would come back. Probably would have been a good long-term hold. But, man, did it act horrible down around $2 and $2.50 for all the time it's out there. Now it's just consolidating out in the mid-sevens to upper sevens. Don't think there's a lot more to that. We'll be back in a minute. Still have plenty of time to call me at 877-927-6648.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. With markets trading with extreme volatility and peaks and troughs everywhere, regardless of what you're looking at in the markets, this is a great time to see the type of analysis Basil Chapman delivers for his subscribers every market day with the Opening Call newsletter. Basil has been analyzing markets, providing his take for subscribers to his trading services since 1984. Every morning, Basil publishes an update for his subscribers, along with weekend and evening updates when warranted. The Opening Call provides traders a daily market overview with regard to the direction of the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, along with specific recommendations, including stops and targets. You also gain instant access to Basil's subscriber webinar archive from earlier this year, a dark cloud cover, and essential market analysis. Ride the Chapman wave today by signing up for the Opening Call newsletter on the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And, got some good news for lovers of freedom. Anyway, up $37 points, on the S&P cash, up 256 on the Dow. NASDAQ down 130, up 130, Didn't mean to scare you there. I know occasionally I look at those things and think, hey, maybe I should be scared. Maybe I shouldn't. Anyway, those are the earnings. Now we're going to go into tomorrow. There's really not much. Earnings pick back up again on Tuesday. So that's about it. Of course, options expiration a week from tomorrow. I'm not a big option player until I can see. I mean, you got to be very, very quick with VIX in the 30s. I tend to not want to play options unless they're the 1 or 2 days before expiration or the VIX is below 15 or 16. Then the melt is not so fast as to preclude any profits in it. You can do it if you're fast, but the old saying is options are like fish. They just stink the longer you hold them. Now, if you can get them and the premiums are not that high, sometimes it's cheaper when you factor in the risk than actually owning the underlying stock. This is not one of those times. This is when it is incredibly easy to lose everything because you can still be right and still the premiums are pretty much astronomical. Those will eventually come down. The VIX will get down to 12, and there'll be some good opportunities, both short and long, to buy options for longer term. But, if you're trading them in and out during the day, it's one thing. But you can't, that's something you want to do at an arm's length. As they say, there are the quick and the dead in options. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. Remember to sell when you can and not when you have to.